All right, this is going to be a really short video talking about voicing, voicelessness, and aspiration. This is sort of a almost an addendum to the phonation section. Um, we got to remember consonants. We looked at the 5 different voicing states. Consonants with these different voicing states, they don't only differ in terms of what voicing state is present, but they also differ in terms of relative timing. Remember that speech isn't just individual sounds spoken in isolation with gaps between them. It's almost always a running stream of sounds, one after the other, no gaps at all. And so the transition from one sound to another is often messy. Multiple things have to change, and they don't always change at the same time. And this gives rise to different amounts of assimilation. Sometimes it's just minor and we don't notice it. Sometimes it's so substantial that we make a note of it in our grammatical descriptions of language. We talk about holophonic assimilation and whatnot. When we're looking at transitions between consonants and vowels, this is the most common type of sound transition in spoken language. We can boil a lot of the work down to 2 things happening, something in the larynx and something above that. It's a vast simplification, but it does give us a framework for talking about things like aspiration. Vowels are by definition open, no substantial constriction, and consonants, again by definition, are not open. There is some constriction. So you're going from, if it's from a consonant to a vowel, you're going from constriction to lack of constriction. And consonants are often voiceless. Vowels are almost always voiced. So you also have going from voiceless to voiced happening for many of your sounds. So when does that voicing happen relative to the other thing that's happening, the opening of the constriction? I'm linking another video where I go into more depth about how we can map that out and how we can visualize these things and relate them to things like voiced, voiceless, and aspirated ways of describing sounds. The textbook uses a different visualization. It uses waveforms to illustrate this distinction. I do like that visualization. I'm offering you a different one, linking to that video in the description of this video, just because sometimes it's helpful to have different ways of looking at the same thing. And remember, the key is that we can't just think of different phonation types being deployed. We also have to think of relative timing. And that same broadening of thought applies to some other things that happen like nasalization. But for our purposes in this module, phonation and aspiration are what we're looking at. So I hope that helps set you up for this part of the module. Enjoy.